Yesterday on the podcast, I speculated that there was some slight concern from my perspective that Hughie Fury versus Joseph Parker had not yet been signed and not yet been announced. This received one or two comments from my fellow podcast characters, including Irish Tom, who um, was under the impression that the fight had already been made. I also had one or two comments in the podcast video from people who must assume I'm some Frank Warren hater who was saying something like, why on earth do you expect Frank Warren to have announced this fight when he lost the purse bids, etc. Anyway, you obviously missed the point that I was trying to make, which is that if a fight of this magnitude had actually been signed and agreed and confirmed, I'd expect a bit more of an announcement and I'd expect a bit more news surrounding it. Anyway, it looks today that the fight hasn't been signed, and it looks today that the fight is far from confirmed, which is extremely disappointing. Especially, I'm particularly looking forward to this fight. A huge fan of both guys, and really, really disappointed. So, thanks to everyone who's made me aware of this treat. As soon as it went up, I've had about 5 tweets from people letting me, letting me know the news. So, really appreciate everyone doing that. But I'm gonna read the quote from the Twitter of Paco Valseral, who is the president of the WBO, the World Boxing Organization. Paco tweeted 32 minutes ago, so approximately 3:17 p.m. UK time, if Hughie Fury doesn't sign before 12 p.m. UK time tomorrow, WBO, as requested, will consider sanctioning a voluntary for Joseph Parker. So clearly, this fight has not been finalised. Contracts, according to the tweet from Paco Valcarel, have not been signed and confirmed, and as a result, there must be some doubt as to whether this fight is even going to go ahead. Now, as a long-term Hughie Fury fan, this situation is just incredibly frustrating. I mean, how many times have we heard about big fights for Hughie Fury? We've had the Ruiz fight. We've had the suggestion that he'd fight Anthony Joshua. We've had the suggestion that he'd fight Deontay Wilder. Now we've had purse bids won for a fight with Joseph Parker. If this fight doesn't go ahead now, you've got to wonder what on earth is going on in the Fury camp. I don't know. I don't know if they think the fight's too early for Hughie. I don't know if they're refusing to travel to New Zealand because Peter Fury will be unlikely to get a visa over there due to his past. I don't know what the circumstance is. Some people suggest that perhaps this relates to the claims that the Furies were caught out for using performance-enhancing drugs, and perhaps Hughie Fury's been banned. But I've got to say, I'm losing faith in the situation right now. And as someone who's a massive Team Fury fan and someone who was desperate to see this fight, it's getting to the point where it's so frustrating that this has not been made and confirmed. I mean, after all, this has got to be Hughie Fury's best chance of winning a version of the World Heavyweight Championship. He's the mandatory challenger. Purse bids have gone. I appreciate he's travelling away from home, but it's Joseph Parker is still a young champion. Parker is I guess you could say untested at the elite level. Not saying that Hughie Fury necessarily is either. But this is a good opportunity for Hughie Fury, and immensely frustrating if this fight doesn't go ahead. As for Joseph Parker's camp, they're absolutely right to request a voluntary, if they're being messed around here. They're the existing champion, and they've won the purse bids, so they can't afford to have their career time wasted just by people messing around and not signing contracts. So, let's hope this fight gets done. I've heard a lot of talk from Peter Fury suggesting that the fight is going to get done, and even that they travel. Realistically, Peter Fury seems to have taken on the role of a promoter in recent years, and even though he's got this straight-talking reputation, he seems to, Hughie's going to be fighting a top 10 fighter. He seems to talk these things up. So let's see what happens. There's been no clarity around any situation with Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury for a very, very, very long time, and for me, if this fight isn't made, it's kind of getting to the point where I'm almost losing faith and losing interest. So, very disappointing news for me that the fight hasn't get made or hasn't been signed as of yet. Let's hope something magical happens between now and 12 p.m. tomorrow, and Hughie Fury does sign the contract and it is confirmed. Otherwise, it looks like Joseph Parker is going to be getting a voluntary option. which is not good news for fans of heavyweight boxing who want to see the top fights being made, and not good news for Hughie Fury fans. Let me know your reaction in the comment section below, people. If you haven't checked out my channel before, please press subscribe so you can check out my other stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, or if this broke the news to you, please click the thumbs up button, as that helps add visibility to my channel. Many thanks indeed for watching.